Alright, welcome to section 1.3. Today we're going to be looking at variables, which are unknown amounts, and equations. Alright, and how to put variables in equations and how that all works. So first, let's look at variables. As a refresher from middle school, variables are lowercase letters, like a lowercase x, or lowercase y, or an m. Alright, if I don't know how many apples I ate, I had A apples. Alright, if I don't know how many tops or yo-yos I have Y yo-yos or T tops. Alright, now for the variable T, you want to do a little tail as I have it here because we don't want it to look like a plus sign. Alright, expressions are going to be when we add numbers to our variables. Alright, so 2x, 2 times x. Or we have y plus t, so 1 more than y. Or the quotient of z over 3. Now check out my z. My z has a line through it. That way you don't think it's a 2. Alright? And then so that's expressions, when we have our variables and we add a quantity to it. Alright? And then if we go ahead and have our equations, that's anything with an equal sign to it. So this is my expression, but if I add an equal sign to that expression, now this is an equation. Alright? Y plus 1 equals 6. Because of this equal sign, we have an equation. My quotient z over 3 equals 19. The equal sign is what makes this an equation. So anytime I highlight anything, I want you to highlight it exactly as I do in these notes. So equation, equal, see how equal is in the word equation? So anytime you see equal sign, it's an equation. No equal sign, it's an expression. And if it's a letter, a small lowercase letter all by itself, it's a variable. Alright? And you're going to hear me say a lot in Algebra 1 the word substitute. So that word substitute means we're going to replace. We're going to replace the variable with the number that it equals to. Replace the variable with the number it is equal to. So we're going to go through some examples. So in our first example, I have a table here, and I know you're thinking yourself, this went too fast. So what I want you to do is pause the video and draw this table. Alright, now that you came back and you unpaused the video, I want to talk about how we're going to substitute the values of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 in for x. So when you see a table like this, when x is 1, what is 6x? So what we're going to do is we're going to substitute substitute the 1 in for that 6x. So the 1 is now going to replace the x. So 6, instead of 6 times x, 6 times 1. What is 6 times 1? 6. Alright? Now, when x is 2, we're going to replace the 2 for x. So instead of 6 times x, we'll have 6 times 2. We're going to substitute the 2 in for x. 6 times 2 is 12. Alright? Now, when x is 3 in this table, when x is 3, we're going to substitute the 3 in for x. So what is 6 times 3? You can use your calculator if you would like. 18. Now, I want you to do the next two, and I want you to pause the video and show me in class. All right? So go ahead and do the next two, and then show me your answers in class. All right, once you showed me what you wrote there in class, or Mr. Cosierra, we're going to move on to example 2. Find the values of each expression when x equals 3 and when y is 4. So what we're going to do is we're going to substitute everywhere you see an x, we're going to put a 3. And everywhere you see a y, we'll put a 4. All right? So for right here, we're going to have, instead of 3 times x, there's nothing there that's a times. Instead of 3 times x, it'll be 3 times 3 plus 2. And instead of 19 minus y, it'll be 19 minus, well, what's y? Y is 4. So equal sign also means the word is, so y is 4. So everywhere you see a y, we're going to put a 4. Well, right here I got a y, so y is 4, so I'm going to substitute that y for a 4. And then x is 3, so everywhere I see x, I'm going to substitute that in for a 3. So now we can use a calculator, or we can just remember our multiplication tables. 3 times 3 is 9, plus 2, bring that down, and then we got 19 minus 4, and then we have our 4 minus 3. So 19 plus 2 is 11. 19 minus 4 is our 15. And then 4 minus 3 is 1.